excuse me for a minute, but I have to sanitize my hands here because my doctor tells me one of the most dangerous ways of communicating germs is by touching things other people touch. So I have to touch all these summonses that you are coughing over all day long, you know. And then I touch my nose or my mouth and I get a cold. And then when I hand it back to you, then you pick up somebody else's germs. So I have this hand sanitizer that I use occasionally. It works. Since then, I haven't had any colds. So. We should probably sell it in the courtroom size. We'll make some money. Ryan Hogan, Robert Zorobedian, Elena Camaro, Bunyan Pond, Mohan Koganaka, and Miriam Bedoya. Ryan Hogan.
I'm Melissa Hogan, Ryan's sister.
And you're appearing?
I'm sorry?
You're appearing on his behalf?
Yes.
Well, he's charged with not having his license on his person.
Guilty.
He's also charged with overtaking on the left.
Guilty.
He's fined $154.
Okay.
Robert Zorobedian. Mr. Zorobedian, you are charged with not having a license on your person. Do you have a license?
Suspended right now.
So you do not have a valid license as you stand before me. You're also charged with going through a red light. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty with an explanation.
What is that?
Well, it was about 3 in the morning, and the cop was following me for about a mile. And as I was going through the light, it turned orange or yellow right when I got there. So right when I got there, it turned yellow, and then he pulled me over because I went through it.
Your choice is to either come back and have a trial on the red light or to plead guilty. What do you do?
Guilty.
$154. Bunyan Pond. You are charged with parties to offenses. Basically, the charge means that there was a motor vehicle accident involved with a car registered to you, and that during the course of the investigation, there was a failure to cooperate with the police in the investigation. How do you plead to this charge?
Oh, Your Honor, I thought I'm coming to court this morning for a parking violation.
No, you're not here for a parking violation.
That's what I returned in this morning.
On March 10th, 1999, on 183 Grace Street, there was an incident involving an accident. The car that was involved was a 1983 Oldsmobile that is registered to you. As a result of the investigation by the Traffic Division, they have decided to charge you with parties to offenses. Basically, that means that there's been failure to cooperate during the investigation. Do you want a hearing on this?
I plead not guilty, Your Honor.
Matter is set down for hearing. Mohan Koganaka. You're charged with entering an intersection without stopping. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. There was an accident involved here.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to read the statute to you. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting statute. 3117-4B. Every driver approaching a stop intersection indicated by a stop sign shall stop at a clearly marked stop line. So,
Yes, I did, sir.
I want you to listen to this, okay? I understand, and these are the key words. Or which is approaching so closely on the highway as to constitute an immediate hazard during the time when the driver is moving across the intersection. So the statute has two requirements. It's a two-pronged obligation on your part. First, it says that you must stop. And then it says, but that's not enough. In addition to stopping, before going into the intersection, okay, okay? You must yield the right-of-way to any vehicle which has either entered the intersection or which is approaching so closely as to constitute an immediate hazard. Your problem is that when you went into the intersection, there was an accident involved.
Yes, sir.
Some people will argue that in and of itself, there was an immediate hazard because there was an accident involved. So when you come back, if you want to try, we're going to give you a trial because you pleaded not guilty, but that's the burden you have to overcome.
No, I think I will exercise my right that I have not had any violation for the last 3 years.
But you don't qualify to have this dismissed on your good driving record because there was an accident involved.
Oh, I see. I'll plead guilty then.
Yeah. It's a very
I didn't
difficult...
realize the second half
Yeah.
of the...
I'm not trying to browbeat you into pleading guilty. I just want you to understand what the law
Sure.
says, okay?
Because the police officer also made the report that I had stopped. And in fact, when I asked him why was he giving me the citation, he said, well, I had to give it. And he didn't explain...
Hold on for a minute. I got sirens on my left. I got babies crying on my right. This is life in the big city. You know? All right. Let's see if we can just keep it quiet for a minute. Sergeant. Okay. All right. So the police officer explained all of this to you?
No, he didn't. When I asked him why was he giving me the citation, even though he agreed and he has put that in his report that I did stop, he did not give me the second half of the explanation. Okay. So when I asked him why, he said, well, I have to do it. So that's why I was questioning it.
Okay. Are you pleading guilty?
Yes, sir.
$77.
Thank you.